Hello everyone, it's your boy Mako. I wanted to talk about the newly released Forbidden and Limited list update. Even though everyone already had something to say about it, I wanted to contribute to the conversation by doing nothing but yap for like a solid 20 minutes or so. If the video is longer than 20 minutes, you can't get mad at me. I just can't predict these things. So it's an interesting ban list specifically because it does address a couple of elephants in the rooms. Elephant statues, if you catch my drift. That card actually isn't on the ban list, so the joke doesn't really work. But it does address a couple of the FTKs that were running around that people were getting upset with good reason. One of these FTKs was incredibly consistent, but now it no longer exists. I am of course referring to the Graceful Charity FTK, looping several copies of Dragon's Gunfire to burn your opponent for a total of 4,000 life points. Obviously, you've all seen my video on all the FTKs going around because you're good people and you do watch my videos. Thank you very much for that. So you know that there were a couple more FTKs. I'll just say it. This is objectively a good ban list, right? Like in the intent category, like this is a ban list that does address problems that do frustrate players. Like they took care of the Athena FTKs that existed ever since these two cards were put into Duel Links, basically. Shimoji Shoulder? What do you ever do? And then, you know, more classic FTK cards. More classic, well, not so classic. These cards haven't been in the game for very long, but like card draw power cards. Bra is there also because you can also use him for card draw. This is like objectively a good thing that KONAMI addresses these FTKs by making them no longer playable. But I do, as always, have grievances because I think that KONAMI tackled the FTK issue in the worst possible way, and I would have rather have seen like other changes than this specifically. I just came home and Mako is being very cuddly. Mako, I'm gonna try and get him on camera just so you can see. There you go. So first things first. I don't know what I was saying. So like I was saying, objectively, a good thing that FTK is no longer playable. My opinion on FTKs used to be that they all sucked, and then I watched a Magic the Gathering video on the deck Oops All Spells, which is a deck that aims to mill its entire deck turn 1. And then pull a really cool combo that wins them the game instantly. I thought that was pretty cool. You should all watch the video. Oh, by the way, it's a Magic the Gathering video, but it's super cool even if you don't play the game. Some FTKs are cool, but realistically, they should not have like a near 100% consistency rate and a near 100% consistency win rate if they go first. That doesn't make the game fun for anyone, basically. With this ban list specifically, I have three main grievances. Grievance number 1. They did address some burnt cards, but not all of the burnt cards that would use in FTKs. I made the joke earlier about Elephant Statue not getting hit. That's a big one. You can still use it to FTK, like, to this day. Also, there's, of course, like, Gem Knight Lapis Lazuli, which was used for FTKing ever since it came out. Already limited one, but you can still use it to FTK. And the Acer Tapeworm guy, Yorgamender, I want to say, Yormagenda, whatever. The big ugly purple thingy that just burns you for 3,000, which I don't think is the thing that should be happening in Duel Links. And I'm not saying that KONAMI should have put these on the ban list, although it would have been an objectively good idea to like put even more of these in the ban list. What I'm saying, as ever, is grievance number 2, KONAMI took the easy way out by hitting specific cards instead of consistently nerfing all burn effects across the board, like I've been saying they should do for literal years now. It is so annoying. Mako, you're being kind of annoying too. If I put you on my desk, do you promise to be nice? And he's off. Okay. Yeah, KONAMI should really just halve all the burn damage in the game. Like, I still don't get that. There is a category of cards that came out before September 2020 that is allowed to do full burn damage, and a category of card that came after September 2020, or is called exactly Lava Golem, that can only deal half damage. That just doesn't track, it's not consistent. But in order to nerf all burn damage card across the board, KONAMI would have to actually put some effort into updating each and every one of those cards that came out ever since the first main box, like Burning Land. That I think that came out in the very first box this game had, or one of the first 2 or 3 boxes, you know? That takes some work, and Konami is kind of allergic to work. But this is the type of effort you have to do if you want to maintain a game and your player base happy. Which leads me to my third point, I guess, which is that Konami, like, this is a situation that Konami let happen. That this should not have happened. We should not have gotten to a point where you can just cycle through 5 copies of Dragon's Gunfire in the first place, leading to a ban list where you have to fucking put Pot of Benevolence to limited 1. That is the situation that we reached, and it is not good. And why does this keep happening? Because Konami just doesn't test the game, and they just make these kills without testing them, without really thinking about the repercussions, and then a couple of months later they get nerfed because, it turns out maybe this was a bit too powerful. I wouldn't be surprised if after this KC Cup, which thankfully will not contain any FTK decks, I should have mentioned that earlier, but this KC Cup, because of Konami's ban list, will be mostly FTK free. Mostly, at least not all the consistent FTKs. After the KC Cup, we might see some changes to skills that realistically probably shouldn't have been released in the state that they're in. You know, like I think the Graceful Charity skill is a bonkers, and I say that as someone that actually enjoys the fake Dragon Link type of deck that it enables, you know? But more so that, like, not testing these obviously broken skills, it's kind of painful that Konami doesn't do the bare minimum if they refuse to consistently hit every burn card of saying, hey, you can deal effect damage on turn 1 if you use this skill, right? Because if you just put this single clause into every skill that you make going forward, that gives you like additional draw cards and makes you hyper consistent and stuff, suddenly you do a lot to prevent FTKs from happening in this game. They did it for the Wind Witch skill. You know, Wind Witch, a famous burn deck that actually can burn you to death because the only cards that you're allowed to get burned by are Wind Witch cards. So I guess these are my 2 cents on the FTK issue. Like, yeah, technically it got solved just in time for a PvP event where people are going to... I forgot to complain about that. I forgot to complain about the fact that people can still play the FTK decks until October 28! Why, Konami? I hate that Konami has this policy of showing ban lists that don't go live until 2 weeks later. I can't think of any other card games that does this. Maybe this is a Japan thing and I don't play enough, like, Japan card games. Hearthstone doesn't do it. Magic the Gathering doesn't do it. Why do we have to wait 2 weeks? Like, even if this is the rule, I think you could have made an exception for it. Nobody's was gonna miss the FTK decks, you know? Nobody's gonna be like, oh man, my FTK deck guy today can't play anymore. I really can't do a Texan accent. I should really stop pretending that I can. You have to wait 2 weeks, and there is a PvP event currently going on, and I shit you not, my very first game in this PvP event was against a FTK deck, and I went second, but thankfully I opened draws, so I won anyway, because my opponent just saw the draw and conceded. It's upsetting, you know, Konami is doing the bare minimum to keep players satisfied, and I don't think we should applaud it for it. I guess it's a good thing, yada yada, but realistically, this is a situation that shouldn't have happened, is going to keep happening, because Konami only alpha has things, you know? Like, they see the disease, and they only treat the symptoms. So, when my webcam decides to focus again, which is presumably gonna be someday, and when the event ends and you're asked to fill this little survey, that happens at the end of every event, tell Konami, hey, burn decks, burn FTK decks, you should have done them sooner, you should have made the nerfs apply now, and also you should put the thing on skill that says you can do effect damage for the first 2 turns of the duel. And I guess that'll be it for today's video. Thank you all for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed this yap session that didn't take 20 minutes. Actually, I'm kind of proud of myself on this one. I can just hear Mako being super loud. I'm gonna pet my cat after this video, so I have to go really quickly, end this video really quickly now. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment it, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you to my coffee donators and my YouTube channel members. I have to go pet a cat, So I can't list them now, but thank you for watching. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.